I am back out at the range with the bobbed Charter Arms Undercover that I put together a few months ago. I changed the hammer spring inside here, and I want to function check this again to see if it's now reliable with all kinds of ammo. And mostly what I brought today was my reload, so I have some of the ones that did not function last time with the Winchester primers, and then I have a whole bunch that have Federal primers, so I want to see how this thing functions now. So far so good, but those were Federal primers, so the ones that I was having issues with were actually the Winchester primers. So let's grab some that have Winchester primers. And let's see how these do. And I am keeping my cases again so I can reload these again. So let's see what we got here. Pretty good on those. Try something else. 158 grain lead round nose with some Winchester primers. I'm hoping this fixes the issue, because even though I did take weight off the hammer, putting a little bit better, or at least something that I know should be good, better hammer spring in there should fix the problem. I always forget, Charter Arms Undercovers, if I shoot them a lot, they definitely smart. The way the trigger guard is shaped, they pinch my finger a little bit, unlike the Smith & Wesson J-frames. J-frames don't tend to do that for me, but these guys definitely smart, especially when you're shooting kind of a hot load. And I mean, these aren't specifically hot. These are probably only around 800, 850 feet per second lead round nose, but so far so good. That's all I wanted to do, was really function test this today. Put some good rounds through it, good round count, and see what I get out of it here. And I'm shooting some pretty old reloads here. Well, at least the cases are pretty old. When you find cases that say Western on them, which I believe was a hardware store, you know they're pretty old. And these are old nickel case ones that have a lot of scratches on them from being reloaded. So all the nickel ones I'm shooting today, I'm going to toss, but all the brass cases I shoot, I'm definitely going to reload. So well, function seems to be very good so far. Let's see here. Try something else after this. These were also shells that had primers in them for I don't even know how long. I bought a whole lot of stuff from my Sportsman's Club, which is actually where I am today. And there was a bucket that probably had 250 casings that were already primed. So I just loaded them all, figuring, hey, if I get one more shot out of them, even though they're really old, you know, nickel cases that are been reloaded many times, it's one more load out of them. And I tested to make sure the primers worked first, and they worked fine. So that's what I'm shooting right now. Well, I'm pretty happy with this now. I think I can comfortably start carrying this again, but before I make my full judgment on it, let's try, I think I have, do I? Yeah, I have some hollow points that I loaded, and these have Winchester primers. Those are the gold ones that are in them. So I'm going to try a cylinder of these if I have enough of them. And these are loaded probably around 900 feet per second, nothing too crazy. But I want to see if it'll function using a different bullet than just the lead ones, which, again, if it fired the Winchester primers with a lead bullet, shouldn't make any difference if it's lead or if it's a jacketed hollow point. Let's see how these do. Went flawlessly. So the last time I took this out, I was having issues basically right out of the gate. Any of the Winchester primers that I stuck in this thing were not going off. And I mean, if I'd strike them twice, they'd go off. But I would say this gun is probably fixed now. So I put, I don't know, 6 or 7 cylinders through it already. And I'm going to put a couple more through it before I say that it's fixed. But just changing that hammer spring, I think, did the trick on this bobbed hammer Charter Arm. I would say it's fixed. If you can put, you know, 40, 50 rounds through it without having an issue, all different loads. I did have some factory ammo in here, but most of it's my reloads. But I would say this thing is probably fixed. So I'm very happy about that. Now I have my, I don't know, my third bobbed hammer small frame revolver that I can carry if I want, and be very confident that it'll work when I need it. And there's just something awesome about shooting revolvers. And I missed one. How did I miss one? I only shot 4 that time. Let's see how bad I flinch when I shoot this. Not bad. But it's fixed. I'm happy about that. So I'm going to put a few more through it, and then I'm going to move on to something else. But just goes to show you, if you don't have a smooth carry gun that has a bobbed hammer on it, it only takes a few hours and a little bit of know-how to turn something like a $250, $299 Charter Arms Undercover like this into a nice, slim, smooth carry gun and make it reliable as well. Just make sure you test fire it. At any rate, that's going to do it for this edition of Cranky Gun Reviews. Thanks for joining me in this little follow-up video on my Charter Arms Undercover bobbed hammer. Make sure you support your 2A rights. Get out there and shoot. God bless America. And you remember, if someone asks you to give up some of your freedom for the greater good, remind them that freedom is the greater good.